Alright, we're in chapter 6, section 3. We're doing example 4. So this is another example of bonds purchased in between coupon dates. So we have $10,000 bond. So again, we're going to draw a nice big timeline here. 10,000 goes at the end because that's our F. At 8.25%, so that's our IB. With interest payable January and July. So July, January alternate is they're 6 months apart. So again, we are semi-annual. And these can be quarterly or monthly too. Just semi-annual is a little bit more common. So that's what we're going to focus on. So that means it happens twice a year. And then it matures on July 15th, 2009. And if the bond is purchased on April 5th, 15th, 2004, and it yields 6.5%, so that means our I is 0.065 compounded semi-annually, so over 2. We want to find the purchase price. So again, we're trying to find this. April is not a January or July date, and again, we're semi-annual, so we have this in-between idea again. So the first thing we have to do is determine where these are, and then figure that piece out. Now again, here we're not told anything about it being called, so that means F and C are both 10,000. One payment before April 15th, 2004 would be January 15th, 2004. One period after would be July 15th, 2004. So that's where we're looking. So again, that day before is always V1, the day after is V2, and we have to figure out what both of those are. Now looking at this, our next step is going to be to determine the ends and our FIB. So let's do FIB first. So it's going to be our 10,000 because that's our F times 0.0825 over 2. So we get $412.50 for FIB. And now we need to figure out what our ends are. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a table just to help me think it through. 04 to 09, so 2004, 2005, 2006. Okay, and we're doing January and July. They're both J's, so I want to make sure I specify here. The point is, this is to help me, not to confuse me. Okay, so I'm going to start this time. I'm going to start backwards. So I'm going to start here for 1, so that I only have to do one table. So 1, 2, wait, we wouldn't make any here. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that means N is 11 for January 15th, 2004 to July 15th, 2009, because that makes sense, because it's really 5 full years minus, including both years, minus 1, because again, we're not going to make any money this day. Let's set up our V equation here before we move on. So it's going to be C, which we said was 10,000, and then our I is 6.5% semi-annual, so 0.065 over 2. The negative 11 plus our FIB for 1250 times 1 minus 1 plus 0.065 over 2. It's a negative 11 over 0.065 over 2. And for that value, again, this is our V1. So we get 10,798 and 51 cents. Okay, now this is over, but we're before, so this will be a premium that we'd be paying because we're paying more, and we would actually lose money with the bond. Okay. Now, because N was 11 over here, this means that N would be 10 here, not 12. It's going to be 10 because it's one period later. So this is July 15th, 2004 to July 15th, 2009. So V2 is going to be this, it's the same equation as we used before, just a different exponent. This time we have -10. So this time we should be closer to that 10,000 value mark. So I'm going to do the same entry, and again the only thing that changes is our exponent. So this time we have 10,736 and 96 cents. So now our next step is to find the difference. So again, that's going to be V2 minus V1. So we're going to take our 10,736.96 minus 10,798.51. So here we're going to have a negative difference because the number that's further out is bigger. So we get -$61.55 is our difference. So now we have to figure out what our fraction is. Okay. Now we have January and then July, and then we have April in the middle. Okay, so it's 3 months from January to July, 3 months from April to July, for a total of 6. So our fraction is going to be 3/6. Okay, 3/6. And again, I'm looking at months because we're dealing with full months here. So then we're going to take V1 plus the 3/6 times that difference, -61.55. So our V1 was 10,798.51 plus 3/6 times -61.55 cents. So that's how it would look on your calculator. 1,767 and 74 cents, rounding to the nearest penny. So again, this would be the and interest price. Okay, but now we're not done, because now we need to find the plus accrued interest price, because that would be the total purchase price would have the accrued interest in it. So now we have to do that part. So we're going to take our FIB. Again, I'm going to call this square. I'm going to call this one triangle. So we're going to take our FIB times the fraction. Okay, our FIB was 412.50, and we're going to multiply that by our 3/6. So 412 and 50 cents times 3/6 would be 206.25, and we're going to add that to our and interest price. So square plus triangle. So 10,767.74 plus 26.25. So $10,973.99 would be our plus accrued interest. Okay, so this is going to be the purchase price. Is the plus accrued interest price is the purchase.